Alrighty, hello and welcome everyone to the Thursday night league here with GT3 and GT4 mixed multi-class here at COTA. Hope everyone's having a great night tonight. It's looking like it's going to be a very intense race today. A lot of drivers here tonight, 23 drivers on grid currently. I think a few more to get in the server. But COTA, always a very fun track. Lots of elevation changes, 133 feet of elevation changes to be exact. It's a 3.4 mile circuit and it's got 20 turns. Be very interesting to see where some of these drivers come tonight. Currently here we can take a look at the standings for the Thursday league. Just like that. These are the Thursday standings. Currently, we are looking at the Split 1 standings, I think. Or are we? No, we're looking at Split... yeah, we're looking at Split 1 standings. Yes, I'm great at this. Andreas Mastachero leading Split 1 currently. Matt Paremba in P2 and Will Brunner in P3. And then moving on to the Split 2 drivers, we see here Jason Provolone leading over Reggie King and Moffitt, not in that order. The opposite of what I said, but that makes them. Anyways, into the race here. We're currently sitting in free practice, waiting to get underway into the qualifying session. It's going to be 2 splits for the qualifying session today. We're going to have the split GT3 drivers go out on track. I think those are the split 2 drivers, if I'm not mistaken. And then the split 1 being the GT4s. Yes, okay, I was correct there. As you can tell, I've done my homework for tonight, which I have, and I still mess up. But hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. Looking at some of these liveries, I see a lot of really epic liveries in in the game here on the grid. Alejandro Pugar in here, currently sitting in P3, the 2:11. Not the fastest time. See a lot of drivers actually yet to set very competitive times. Currently Provolone topping the time charts in that Lamborghini, the 2:09.7. And Padberg leading the way for the GT4 field, 8 seconds off that pace with a 2:18.3. I definitely think we will see some improvements in time before the end of the session. Overall, it's been a very exciting season so far. Last week at Kyalami, had a lot of action, very intense. I expect basically the same here. This is a very a track that not a lot of drivers know well. As you can see, the climb uphill, as these drivers are actually like basically scrapping away here in free practice, the climb uphill to turn 1 is massive. And I think this corner is the only one that has like a somewhat of a name, and that's Big Red, if I'm not mistaken. Is there a label that says Big Red? There is. Look at that. Other than that, though, I think the rest of the corner names on this track are numbers, so very boring. Of course, we have the S's here, the legendary S's. So tricky to keep your car planted through these, especially in a GT3 car. Feathering that throttle. That was not the greatest through there, but this is free practice, so that is the point of it. Coming to the end here of free practice, getting ready to hop into that 2-stage quali. And now we're hopping into that 2-stage quali. So we're going to see the GT3 drivers come out on track first, the split 2 drivers that is. We see cars leaving the pits right now, just at least one of them, who is the 82 car there of Provolone, leading the pits here in the the 82 Lamborghini. Big frame job. I think someone joined the server there. That's all right. We got 27 drivers here in this server currently. So now we actually have the turnout that we were looking at. So probably a few more drivers to join, I would imagine. Hopefully not with custom liveries that will lag the game and invalidate people's laps. COTA being a very long lap, 2 minutes plus, so invalidating it can be very painful. And I just want to kind of go through here and just check out some of these liveries. A lot of these drivers have put a lot of work into them. Eric Gossian here. Lovely BMW livery. Eric Miller. I think, is that a custom livery? I don't know if that's a custom livery. See American flags on the side of the rear wing. Not sure. That definitely is. Gabe Carnes there in the Country Club Racing Porsche. Lovely livery. Paint splatter. Oops. Bulgarian still yet to get on track, interestingly. Couple other drivers here, I think, going to be coming out on the pits now. Yep, 44 car of Bulgarian will be going on pits. Awesome. Or into the, he will be lapping. So they will have 10 minutes to complete their lap here before they have to go into the pits. We will see here, rounding the penultimate corner right now, is Jason Provolone here getting ready to start his lap, coming through the final corner. Nice and easy. Trying to carry as much speed as you can on the massive uphill climb to Big Red. Gonna be flat out the entire way, fourth, probably up to fifth, and maybe sixth gear? I don't think so, though. Just probably gonna hold fifth, yep. Diving in at that apex. Extremely late braking because it's such an uphill section. As you can see, blind once you get to the crest. You're turning into, well, what you're hopefully gonna be is road. And not a spun car come the race. And now into the S section, the mighty S's. Down to third gear here. Navigating that car very well. Provolone keeping that Lamborghini planted, something I don't say often. Lamborghini, not a typically planted car. But Jason making it look easy. Down to second gear there, stepping out a little bit. The rear end not quite doing what he wants it to there. Same there, front end not biting up. But nonetheless, this is still a pretty tidy lap thus far from Jason Provolone. Breaking down into the massive downhill section there. You have to brake extremely early and hope. Very easy to run wide and invalidate there. Now, the long straight, flat out, the entire way, fourth up to fifth gear. Getting ready to go into the extremely heavy downhill braking here. Down to first gear. Minimum, trying to maximize that minimum speed there. Very nice. Now coming into the weird squiggly section. Not really sure what to call it. COTA, a very tricky track, but it's a real racing track. This is a track that is truly difficult, and I like a little difficulty. So I think that these drivers are going to be a little challenged tonight. As you can see, they're just having to feather that throttle through there. I think you maybe could have had a bit of a tighter line through there. Not sure, though. Oh, and a big step out there, locking up the front. Not quite negotiating that car where he wants it to. This isn't going to be the greatest lap, but has plenty of room for improvement. Going to be coming across the line here to set the first lap, and it's going to be a 2:10.6. We are seeing times in the 2:09s in free practice, so I definitely expect him to improve quite a bit. Ooh, but he's going to run deep a little bit this lap. Not quite. He's going to carry a lot of speed. Gabe Carnes taking that second place position right now. Eric Gossian in third. No one else yet to cross the line. We see Bulgarian here on his lap about midway through. Ricardo Sapien. Let's follow Ricardo Sapien for the rest of this lap. See how he is going to be doing on this. Got one more sector, or well, half a sector to go. But this is one of the most tricky last sectors of any track. But keeping it together nicely. Not quite taking that inside curb, running just a little bit too wide. But I think he can still carry that speed. And actually, I think he invalidated that lap from that corner. Unfortunate. So he will have to try again, Ricardo Sapien, to set another valid lap. Eric Miller taking that pole position for right now, 209.8. I still expect to see a bit faster times by the end of qualifying. We have Anthony Macho Camacho here, coming through just out of the S's here. That Mercedes not looking great on grip there. Good exit though. As we come barreling down the hill here into the braking. Try not to take too much curb on the inside. Maybe could have went a little bit more on the inside. Runs tiny bit wide. That's okay. Still up on the time. 0.3 up. How much of an improvement will Anthony Macho Camacho get this lap? We will see. Very nice livery as well. Unfortunately, I think maybe we might be missing it. I don't know. That's a glossy. Interesting. Nice and tidy through here. Little conservative. Not quite maximizing the minimum speed, unfortunately, and actually scrubbing off 0.2 from his lap just from that corner, or that little few corner sections alone. So it's going to be the fight here through the rest of the sector for Camacho to try and improve. Eric Miller still on pole position. He is improving on his lap, though. We'll jump on with him. Actually, might as well right now, as Camacho not going to be improving on his lap enough to make a difference. And we'll see Eric Miller improving on his time, another 0.2. Puts him up to 209.6. So, very nice time. I think that might be enough to seal pole. Not sure, though. None of the other drivers really on the pace right now. Maybe Provolone. Provolone's driving 0.5 up on his lap right now and has a bit to go. The sector that he's coming into was where he messed up last time. So he needs to gain another 0.4. Got Vulcan in chat. How's it going? Hope everyone's having a great day. Great night. It's been a long day for me. But, nonetheless, we're here tonight. Jason Provolone, though. 0.6 up. If he can hold on to this. Yeah. No kidding, Vulcan. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to work this weekend, but it's all good. It's still gonna be the weekend. Provolone here. Finishing his lap relatively soon around in the penultimate corner. 0.9 up. He's a second up on his time. This is going to be challenging for pole position if he can keep this up through the final corner. About 1.5 up. Comes across the line. Takes pole position. Eric Miller not quite on a contesting lap just yet. Camacho, though. Oh, clobbers that curb, and that's going to invalidate his lap, unfortunately. That's going to be the end of that. Gabe Carnes coming across the line now. Just starting another lap. I think he improved a couple thousandths. Not quite enough to gain any positions. Jason Provolone up on his lap again. You can ride on board with him for the rest of this, or not for the rest of this. We'll ride on board for a few sections, a few corners. See how he's doing. Fighting that Lamborghini. That is more what I expected to see. That Lamborghini not looking planted at all, but it looks fast. If you can keep that under control, that is, well, something I struggled to do when I tried driving the Lamborghini. Locks up a little bit mid-corner, maximizing, not quite actually anything. They lost a bit of time. I think just slightly too late on the brakes, which is so easy to do in that big downhill braking section. Speaking of big downhill, here we go. Diving into the apex again, trying not to take, it's a little bit too much curb on the inside, but keeps it under control. Ricardo Sapien taking pole position. Nice job. 209.5. If Provolone can keep this lap up, not many corners to go, currently a 10th up, he will have enough to take that pole position back. Eric Miller, I think, has given up on his lap. Yeah, actually, he's starting a lap right now. Or is he? He just made up a load of time. So he must have had a very shabby Sector 2. And because he just gained a lot. Polgarin, hi in the chat. Hi in the chat. Welcome, Polgarin. Lovely livery, by the way. If it would let me look at it. There we go. Beachley here, second up on his time, currently at 2:12. This is going to look at improving him at least one position here. Eric Kassian coming in at 2:11.7, just in front of him. Beachley into the pits, though. He was up on that lap. Oh, but I don't think he could have finished. I think he started that lap too late. As we see, we are now down to 8 minutes. We see the GT4 cars coming on to track right now. Got the 888 car of, I think that's Padberg, I'm assuming. Yep, it is. And that Pink Pig Studio 2108 racing car. Love to see it. Driver's putting in a lot of effort. The car behind him as well. Let's see which number is that. I'm not sure. I think that's Ollie Raza. I don't think I need to see the number. Yeah, that is Ollie Raza. Very nice livery as well in that Porsche. Lots of Porsches here tonight in the GT4 field. I think that's quite typical, though. Porsche, quite the popular car. And I do want to jump here with, or let's see here. Where's the 37 car? Oh, Niall Schlitter. He's actually the first GT4 car on track by miles. So starting his first lap here. Now Schlitter is going to be going uphill into Big Red. You can see where everyone has started braking, leaving that rubber on the track. Bit deep, though, into turn 1. Not quite the line I think he wanted. But coming into the S's now, the GT4, not an easy car to handle through this sector. Lifting off the throttle so gently. Down into third gear here. Probably going to go to second for this next one, maybe? No, holding third. Oh, back end, even wanting to step out a little bit. Wow, that Porsche really all over the place. Yeah, struggling for grip right there. That Porsche not quite gripping up on the front or the rear, really. So maybe not quite enough heat into his tires to start at the start of the lap. Maybe too much fuel on board, unsure. But I'm sure he will be improving his time nonetheless. And we have wipers coming on? I take back everything I just said. I thought I saw rain on the windscreen. It's raining at COTA. At the beginning of this qualifying, Niall Schlitter, the first one to set a lap. I think this is going to be the pole position. He just needs to keep it on track for the rest of the time. The first sector should have been enough. Wow, grip is definitely becoming less available as time goes on here. Very deep into this corner now. Schlitter actually gets it stopped in time, though. And now just about finished with this lap. Just needs to keep it on track. We saw 2:18s from the qualifying, or from the free practice. And we see yellow flags all over. Yellow. Oh, man, Mostachero, that was in the pits. A lot of drivers having to go back. Yes, Eric. I agree. And I was smiling, and I didn't want to say anything, but yes. Now Schlitter going to be coming across the line now and probably setting the fastest lap of the GT4s. Did he set a lap? Oh, no, there's more. I'm crazy. Padberg and everything, they've already set laps. What am I talking about? So these drivers here, Padberg currently in pole position. Ollie Raza in that second place. Will Brunner in third. And Story in fourth. These guys all having set their laps already. Probably not going to go back out on track. As you can see, it is starting to bucket down here in Austin. And this, unfortunately, is the result for a lot of drivers, it seems like. Ricky Rocket Scott, I think we just missed that. I think he ended up in the pits. So I think we're going to see very few cars out on track here coming up. That's not the optimal racing line. Little deep, but in these conditions, it'll do. Casey Schutte, though, not quite having the best lap time right now. Juan Carries, he is, well, 3 seconds off of his lap time. So that's not quite going to be challenging for pole position, unfortunately. So I would imagine here we're not going to see any improvements whatsoever. Mostly drivers doing this. He's just waiting for a little bit of a gap, I think. But don't think it's going to matter, unfortunately. Any driver yet to set their time, Mostachero, Mike Burkov. These drivers getting caught out by the rain. Afonso. Quite a few drivers actually down here. Fallon, that got caught out by these conditions. The GT3 drivers, of course, just smiling in their seats right now. Let's hop on board here with Casey Schutte. Another driver who looks like he got caught out by the conditions. Track looks like it's almost drying up a little bit, though. I could be completely wrong. I probably am. Oh, yep. As, that car struggling for grip, having to go super easy on the throttle here around the penultimate corner. That car just wanting to go straight. Yeah, he had to fight that thing just to get it to bite and turn in whatsoever. And Casey Schutte in the pits. No surprise there. And then we have one car left on track. Will Brunner here. The true Chad. Willing to stick out these conditions. No other driver has the confidence, the knack, the tenacity to try to challenge for pole position right now, except Will Brunner. Now, granted, he is 4 seconds off of it. In fact, he's 4 seconds off his previous lap time. But he's trying nonetheless, and that is the attitude that I like. Ah, yes, the mouse-clicking McLaren. We do see a couple other cars coming out on track, but they will not have time to start their lap. That's for sure. And just having to be so delicate on that throttle. Oh, and man, trying to make every little correction on the wheel. The car just trying to straight line on him. Yeah, not wanting to grip up, trying to go like as full lock as he can without scrubbing the tires and just even going even more straight. And now coming across the line, he's going to be 7 seconds off of his time. And not set a fastest lap. Hopefully he invalidates this lap so we can move on to the race, as he's the only one on a valid lap. And I do not think he will be improving. Nothing against him personally. Yeah, there we go. Just track conditions do look like they're getting a little bit worse. And yeah, it's wet, but it's gonna rain in the race too. Oh my. Oh my. We got 30 minutes here. It's an hour and 15-minute race tonight. And within a half hour, we're going to have some wetness. Traction is going to become optional. That's my favorite. So these drivers have a lot to go. They have one pit stop mandatory, no requirements in that. They just have to pit and be lifted up and then put back down. So no tires, no nothing. It'll be very interesting to see if drivers do take tires, as this circuit, especially through the S section, is one to absolutely dominate tires and, well, cook them to the core, more or less. Oh, let's get a quick grid rundown here. We have Ricardo Sapien taking pole position. Very nice lap from him. We didn't see it, unfortunately, but very nice. And Jason Provolone trying to challenge for that pole. I think he was 6/100ths off of it. So very close indeed, but not quite enough. Getting caught out by that rain. Eric Miller there. Or no, he didn't get caught out by the rain. What am I talking about? Eric Miller in P3. Got Anthony Macho Camacho in P4. Gabe Carnes in P5, Reggie King in P6, on Alejandro Pulgarin in P7. Lining up next to him is going to be Eric Gakassian in P8. Then we have Justin Beachley in P9. Adam Delbuke in P10. Tanner Masters, P11. We have Adam Polsky, P12. Jacob Padberg, P13. Lucky number, P13 for Padberg. Ollie Raza. Actually, P13 is pole position, I should say, for the GT4s. So we have Porsche on the back of the grid here for the GT3s. Porsche on pole for the GT4s. Followed up by another Porsche of Ollie Raza. Then Will Brunner, who we saw there sticking out through the conditions to the very end. And Jeremy Story in P16. Got Juan Carisse in P17. Niall Schleter in P18. Casey Schutte, P19. Ricky Rocket Scott in P20. Got Diego Montecchero in P21. Ross Fallen, P22, in that Murica. It's a very fitting track and car for this. We have Jake Bucknam in P23, in that 690 Aston Martin. Presser Kanotis in P24. We have Alex Afonso in P25. Jarek Snyder, P26. We have Andreas Montecchero in P27, Mike Burkov, P28, and Jose Guzman bringing up the back here in the Honda NSX in that GT3 car. So joining, unfortunately, I think a little too late for qualifying. Starting at that back of the grid, he has a lot of work to do. But we see Ricardo here getting underway. Cars all starting up and moving on here. All of them getting ready, as this is going to be quite the long outlap here at COTA. Gives a good look at all of these liveries here. A lot of drivers, as I said before, putting in a load of work into them. So got to credit them where credit is due, of course. But if anyone is curious or debating, should I have a drink of water right now? Or thinking, am I hydrated enough? The answer is no. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time to hydrate. That was probably really loud. I'm sorry. All right. We're hydrated and ready to go now. These drivers are going to be plenty hydrated here in the next 30 minutes, as we are expecting some rain in the GT3, GT4 mixed class field here. We have 29 drivers on the grid. About halfway done. Maybe just, actually probably not even halfway done yet with the outlap. It's a very long outlap. Take a quick look at those conditions once again here, as we see current conditions and up to 10 minutes, but somewhere within 10 to 30 minutes, it's going to be pouring buckets. Fast track right now. Track temp, quite warm actually. The ambient temperature, 26, track temp at 33. So, decent amount of grip for right now. The grip will all disappear at some point, though. And then things will get very interesting. A lot of corners on this. 20 corners, to be exact, as I said before. And some other fun facts about Circuit of America. It has hosted people of the likes of Willie Nelson, Elton John, Bruno Mars, and none other than Taylor Swift. Professor Kenotis here, representing Taylor Swift, the hometown hero here. I don't actually know if she's from Texas or not. But the T-Swizzle 2022 car here. 42, Professor Kenotis, representing that history of COTA. When it comes to other facts about COTA, unfortunately, there aren't many. This track, not the most interesting when it comes to history. But, nonetheless, we have the drivers here, getting ready, lining up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. We see a couple of penalties along the grid here. 15 seconds, I think, for 2 drivers. But, drivers now rounding the final corner. As I said, Noah's Ark formation, getting ready to go green here. I think it's quite the long start-finish straight as well. So all the cars are going to be rounding onto it right now as we get ready for this marshal here on the right to wave that green flag. And we are now going to not be... We're green now. The marshal now enthusiastically waving that flag green. Great start from our P2. As we see, I think Provolone as well having a really good start. Ricardo Sapien, though, trying to cover off that inside line. That's where you want to be for this turn. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of side-by-side action up ahead from Gabe Carnes and, Eric Miller and Camacho. Going through the S's. This is not the spot you want to be going side-by-side, but they tuck it, make it work. Eric Miller losing a position there, going a bit further back. We see a yellow flag from Niall Schleter. What happened there? I'm not sure. Unfortunately, having to take to the escape road. A lot of cars so far, keeping it clean so far. We see the GT3 field making it mostly through. Jose Guzman here, making up a good amount of ground in that first lap for sure. So we can stay on him for a little bit as he will be plowing his way through this GT4 field as quickly as he can to try to catch up. Up to P23 now. And going to go up to P22 as well. Maybe even, wow, and he's going to overtake 3 drivers and... Oh, no, he's too... Jose, you're racing with GT4 cars, my man. Going down the inside here, way too late on the brakes. Oh, no. Oh, and then he has a little tap on that GT4 car at Porsche, lifting up into the air. Jose, you're supposed to be teaching these amateurs. Wait, no, not these amateurs. Excuse me, these guys aren't amateurs. These supposed to be teaching the amateurs when the amateur league on Mondays comes to a close. Jose has a perfect example to show what not to do. There's no question about that. Up ahead, though, Ricardo Sapien battling it out with Provolone here. I think we saw Provolone try to take that lead on the lap. He did. Okay, Provolone did take the lead on lap 1, but Sapien fighting it back now and taking that back from him again. Provolone, though, in the slipstream. We'll see here. The wing cam. Gonna have the inside line is Provolone. Late on the brakes. Gets it tucked inside. This battle, I think, is going to continue for a while now. Ricardo Sapien and Jason Provolone both showing that they have a good amount of pace. They might just want to work together at this point and pull away from the pack, but honestly, if they can battle and pull away from the pack, which they are kind of doing right now, well, more power to them. Anthony Macho Camacho here leading the pack behind them, second behind the leaders. Eric Miller chasing him down in that 17 Lexus. Oh, big moment there. That's going to compromise the exit for Camacho massively. Camacho will have the inside line. Eric Miller trying to take the long way around, and he gets it done before the corner, but down the inside. Thinks better of it, though. In fact, almost gets collected there by the Porsche from Gabe Carnes behind. A lot of these drivers now getting more comfortable with their positions. I think we see Ricardo Sapien here, unfortunately not quite with the pace to keep with Provolone for now. Eric Gakassian here side by side with Del Buick. Gets by. Nice overtake there from Eric Gakassian. I don't think the job's done fully yet, though. I think, as we see here, Adam Del Buick is going to be trying to come back around on him. Taking that alternate. Oh, a big moment of oversteer, though. That's going to compromise the exit, I think. Not. Yeah, it is. Okay. That's going to be a difficult one to close from there, barring a mistake from Eric. We see a yellow flag from Ricardo. Oh, no! What happened here? Ricardo all on his lonesome. And the 263 AMG here has a big. Oh, no! Just gets on the throttle like slightly too early, and the rear end just doesn't, the front end doesn't grip up, and he loses the rear, and well, Bob's your uncle, and the barrier now has a hole in it. Beachley here down the inside of turn 1. Oh, a big swipe though. The Area 52 car of Masters not giving up that position just yet, but has to in the end. Beachley getting by. Looking at that GT4 field here, we currently see Padberg leading the field. Then Ollie Raza chasing him down with Jeremy Story in P15 or P3 in class. We have Jose Guzman here working his way back through the field after forgetting that the middle pedal is a thing. It happens, you know, I'm not blaming him. Well, I am blaming him, but I'm not, like, you know, mad at him. It happens. But has a bit to go till he catches back up to that GT3 pack. Casey Schutte here, who didn't have the greatest qualifying, has made up a good bit of ground up to P19 right now. Chasing down Brunner. Brunner started in P3. Drop back down to P5, but sticking with the crowd nonetheless. Casey Schutte gonna try to go on the offensive. Doesn't quite have the beans required though right now. It looks like in that Porsche, that McLaren, very fast. Going slightly defensive is Will Brunner. Late on the brakes though. Casey Schutte closing up massively. I think he smells blood in the water here, does Casey, and wants to get this overtake done quickly. And this Aston Martin, I think I said that he was in a Porsche. He's in an Aston. Aston GT4. Car I've never actually driven before. I've never, zero experience driving the Aston Martin GT4, so I have no idea if it's oversteery, understeery, or what. But Casey doing a good job of it so far. Doesn't quite have the pace to keep up with Will Brunner. Or he has the pace to keep up, but does he have the pace here to overtake? Coming on to the start-finish straight. This is going to be his best opportunity all lap here. Man, that McLaren, so fast on the exits. Avery, thank you very much for the follow. Yep, exactly, Dan. Sapien, after that damage, sitting at the almost back of the GT3 field. The only person behind him is Jose Guzman, who also kind of borked himself as well, and a couple other cars with him. But now Jose up into that P13, back of the GT3 field, trying to catch Ricardo. Ricardo, though, I'm not sure if he didn't make his pit stop yet. Not sure why. I almost feel like that bonnet is not really, Oh, actually, I do know why. Because they probably wouldn't have enough fuel to finish the race. But I'm not sure. That damage is definitely hindering Ricardo Sapien's time, showing that he has the pace for pole position, but not quite enough to, with that damage. We see here Reggie King chasing down Anthony Macho Camacho here. The KFC finger-licking king here. Does he have the pace here? Coming onto the start-finish straight to get that overtake done. That BMW lurking in the mirrors of that Mercedes. And has the slipstream tucked in very, very close. Which cars are which class? That's a great question. So, we're currently here looking at the GT3 cars, and this is our split 2. The silver-plated drivers are the GT3s. And down here, we see the GT4 cars, the white plates. Currently leading the field, Padberg, Aliraza, and Story. They're all very comfortable in their gaps right now, it seems like. Not too much scrapping going on in that GT4 field. Actually, there's a lot of scrapping going on in the GT4 field. I take that back. I should probably... There's quite a bit. Oh, man. Juan Carice here. That doesn't look like a fully showroom-ready Porsche, necessarily. Now, Schlieder there getting a little out of shape. Having to go extremely defensive. Mastachero, that's Andreas Mastachero there, trying to take advantage of it. Not quite, though. We see Professor Kanotis behind him. This train here, I'm not sure who is the culprit of holding them up, or if they're all about the same pace here. All of them lapping very different laps last lap. So, getting caught up. I think Niall Schlieder had or Professor Kanotis had a moment, Schlieder had a moment, but not really. I don't know. All I do know is that this is some very close racing. Jump. Not quite. That was not what I wanted. There we go. Jumping on board here. We see Mastachero, Andreas Mastachero, trying to chase down Niall Schlieder here. And actually, there's some side-by-side action back here. What happened? Juan Carice getting by Professor Kanotis? No, Professor Kanotis was already behind. I think there was a brief attack from Kanotis, and it wasn't that brief, as he's going to try to take the long way around here coming down the straight. But behind him is Diego Mastachero, going to go 3 abreast here, coming into the downhill braking. Kanotis late on the brakes. Everyone keeping it clean. Well, Professor Kanotis a little too late on the brakes, taking it off track. And still staying ahead for right now, side by side with Juan. Juan running wide. And Diego trying his best to try to get in this, but not quite finding the right moment to. Takes the inside line. I think he's going to get the overtake on Kanotis here. Kanotis not going to fight that back after making that bit of a mistake. And I think Juan is going to maybe walk away for right now. We'll see. We see more side-by-side action. Diego and Professor Kanotis. I don't think they're done yet. Professor Kanotis closing up massively. I think he's going to try to make the move here into turn 1. Let's hop on board with him. Actually, he's a bit far away. I don't. It'd be a very optimistic move if he did make it. But I'm ready to see him try. He didn't. That's fine. I would have loved to see it, though. Mike Burkov here in that P22 in that 74 Audi right now. Going through the S section. Currently tucked right behind Fallon. Fallon tucked behind Bucknam. At Aston Martin. Probably, I mean, not intimidated, I would say, but I don't know. That Camaro is just a very intimidating car, especially when it's about to rear end you and there's a car on track just stopped. Will Brunner turning into a mobile chicane temporarily. That was almost a massive collision. Whoa! I think we just saw 4 off the floor from that Camaro. What the heck? I'm going back to see that. Coming through here, I think we saw the Aston jump 3 off the floor. 4 off the floor. That was 8 wheels. That was 8 wheels off the ground in a matter of a second. Holy cow. That was like 2 tons of car. I think Fallon, whoa! Fallon has a broken back right now. These cars, not known for their suspension. Luckily, this is sim. And Fallon, having jumped off the curbing in 1 lap, he's had 8 wheels come off the track in 1 lap. We've been 12 wheels all in total that have flown. Oh man. Wow. Looks like he has managed to get it under control for right now. His pace is back. Everything's calm. Everything's fine. The room has stopped being on fire. Mostly. We have Andreas right in the rearview mirror of that Camaro. Let's see here. Will Andreas make a move into turn 1? Now it looks like he's going to think better of it. Tucks to the curbing. Trying to go for the switchback, it looks like, actually. I'm not sure that's going to work too. Oh, but there's a big moment from the Camaro of Fallon. And I think that's going to give the perfect opportunity for Andreas. Fallon struggling for pace. Bit further ahead here, I want to see. I think we have Reggie King and Anthony Macho Camacho scrapping it out. I do want to check on the weather. 10 minutes. We got rain. So these drivers, any position that you see right now is basically means nothing. Because come 10 minutes time, these drivers are going to be slipping and sliding. I don't know what happened to Brunner. He stopped in the middle of the track. It looked like either a disconnect or a, like, my wife needs me moment. One of the two is my prediction. Because he's no... Oh, wait. No, he's still in this race. I don't know. He stopped on track fully for a little bit. That was almost like a... Yeah, I don't know. Down here in P26, though. Still has a good bit of a race to make up. He's still got in some action. We got the Maserati. Love to see it. Maserati here of Andre Alex Afonso. Oh, yeah. Listen to that Maserati. And there is the first drops of rain. And it isn't drops, it's already like monsooning. Alrighty, well, here we go. This is the conditions that are going to separate the good from the great. That cone in that track, I'm going to imagine that cone is not going to be there for too long. Drivers are going to move that thing out of the way. The racing line means nothing. We see Reggie King here trying to take advantage of the conditions and go down the inside. Camacho with a terrible exit onto the straight. Gonna try to go late on the brakes. Almost, did he go too late on the brakes though? No, he runs onto the curbing a little bit. Yeah, just slightly too late on the brakes. So Reggie King does get by. But taking a very alternate line, I think though the wide line is probably the right line to take right now. Gabe Carnes back here looking like he's struggling with the conditions. I think Eric Gakassian just got by him and now has Beachley right on his tail. And almost, wow, actually, Gabe Carnes is all over the diffuser of Eric Gakassian. So we might actually see a move here relatively soon. See who can make the best work of these conditions. And we see drivers coming into the pits. Are they going in for a tire change? That's the real question. Because I think if they are going in for wets, it is way too early to do so. I could be wrong. Okay, is there a way I can tell? How do I know? Okay, yellow. They're yellows dots on them. I don't know how to tell if they're wets or not. If anyone knows, let me know. But I think going on to wets would be a mistake at this point in the race. I think you just unfortunately have to suffer with the conditions. I don't know, though. It's pouring buckets. It went from absolutely no rain to monsoon, and Beachley is taking the wrong line there. Ends up drifting into the barrier. That Audi just getting away from him here. Let's hop on board while you watch him chase down Eric Gakassian. Eric Gakassian having a bit of a moment, and Beachley trying to take advantage of it. Gets on, looks like he hit a puddle or something and loses traction, and it goes head on into the barrier. Polgarin in the box here, coming out. I guess we'll know, well, we won't know by lap times. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to tell if they're on wets or not. But if they did, it'll be very interesting to see. So we'll keep an eye on these drivers that did make their pit stop, see how their lap times are doing comparatively to others. Actually, a lot of drivers making their pit stops. Eric Miller here will be one that I want to keep an eye on, because he will probably be able to tell me if they were on wets or not. Jason Provolone as well making their pit stop. There are no inters in ACC. And the green next to their numbers. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So the yellow, I should have clarified that earlier. That's my bad. The yellow is showing that they have not made a pit stop yet. It's a 1, saying that they have 1 mandatory pit stop to make, and then green means that they are all good to go to the finish line. No, these are all in the pits. Now, unfortunately, it'd be really nice if there was a intermediate tire, because these would be the conditions for it, but I don't know. Let's see here. Let's go back to Eric Miller here as he is still chasing down Provolone. Provolone, I think we'll be able to see here with where Provolone comes out. But also, it could be in that crossover condition, because Provolone was leading this race pre-pit stops. I'm second guessing myself right now, but I'm pretty sure he was. And he is not going to come out. Is he? He is going to come out in the lead. I almost went insight. Yes, Ricky Rocket Scott doing it for the McLarens, indeed. Leading the way in that GT4 field for right now. Yet to make a pit stop, but nonetheless in the lead. And looking at Ricardo Sapien's time, who has made a pit stop. Okay, so now, have all the GT3 drivers? Del Buque has not made a pit stop. No, he has. Let's see here. So Ricky Scott is the last of the drivers, or the first drivers not to make a pit stop. All of these other drivers have actually come in. All the GT3s. Interesting. Most, yeah, all of them. Well, there's no way for me to know if they are on inters or not. I guess their best lap time will tell me. But we'll see. A very nice livery here from Tanner Masters. Not sure. I think he's representing that Area 52, I think. Rocket Racing. Team Rocket Racing. I'm not sure. Maybe not. I could just be speaking. No. Oh, no. Ricardo! No! Stay on track! No! That's not what you want to see. Oh, but he's going to keep it out of the barrier. Good job. Good enough. What happened, though? Oh, man. Yeah, Ricardo Sapien, his race going from bad to worse to, well, abysmal. This is a race to forget for him. And Jason Provolone here, let's see, as he's going to finish a lap relatively soon here, so I will be able to see the lap time finally. And who cares about these? Let's get this up here. Stop go 30 from Will Brunner. Oh no, another driver whose race has gone from bad to worse. Side-by-side action, though. Come on, camera. There you go. Diego Mastachero trying to go down the inside of Fallon. Oh, Fallon turning in very early. Closing that, and we see the GT4 there of both Mastacheros here. The brothers are side-by-side. The Camaro getting swamped right there. Fallon losing a position to Andreas. Diego leading the brothers right now. These guys have been with each other pretty much all race thus far, and I don't see them getting any further apart. We'll see if they do. Okay, last lap being a 2:21 for Provolone, and his lap was a 2:09. You know what? I know what I can do. I'm gonna I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's see here. Has Eric Gakassian made a pit stop yet? This is how we tell if they're on wets or not. Where's Eric? No, I don't think he's made a pit stop. He's oh, he has. Okay. And rudely grab him. Hey, Eric.
Hello?
Are you on wets?
Yes.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
So they are on wets. That answers the question. You want some shoot action? Hell yeah. I can get you some shooty action. That's Schlieder. That's Shooty. Shooty's all on his lonesome right now. We'll come back to him in a little bit here. Once, I'm sure he'll get into some action relatively soon here. But we have Carice a bit further back. Right on the bumper of Mike Burkov. So these drivers are on the wet tires. It is confirmed. So that is why they dove into the pits so early. So these tires looking like they were the right choice. Niall Schlieder still, though, has yet to pit. Be very interesting to see where he comes out in the GT4 field. Brunner fully out, yeah. No. I mean, he's still in it. I respect it. He's got his head in it. He does have a stop-go 30. We have a drive-through from Diego Mastachero. Oh my, everyone getting penalties. Tanner Masters here chasing down Eric Gakassian, the man we just pulled into the pits, or into the box with me temporarily to figure out if we were on wets. So we got some wet tire racing here in the Circuit of Americas, the mixed GT3 and GT4 class. And yellow flag from Polsky. Oh no, he got on the throttle way too hard. Oh my, okay, that was really dangerous. Oh, and the car pirouetting. Yeah, that's a rear engine car for you right there. The car he started to lose it. He tried to correct it, and then the car just snap oversteered and he lost it completely. That's what happens when you lose a rear engine car in the wet. Yeah, stewards are haters tonight. Come on, guys. It's raining. He does not have any, like... No, obviously I don't have any leeway, but still. Jose here. Gonna try to go, he makes a move, sells the dummy down the inside, tries to go the long way around the outside, makes the switchback happen. Lovely overtake there from Jose. In fact, I want to go back and watch that one again. As we see here, sending the dummy down the inside, makes Del Butte go extremely defensive, and then Jose tucks onto the outside line there, goes for the switchback, and just gets that done like, I mean, well, he was made for that position. That was a textbook overtake. I would even go as far as saying that was textbook. We'll see if Tanner Masters can get the same result. Coming down the straight here, this is where we saw Jose as well break into, forget to brake and go into the cars of some GT4s back when he started in the very back. It happens. He's made his way through the field, though, and moved on from it, of course, as any driver should. Yellow flag from Delbuke again. I think that looked like just another self-inflicted error. We can go back and see that one once more. Actually, that's with Jose right there. No, it is self-inflicted, I think. Oh no. What a sad way to lose a car. I don't really know what just happened. I think that's just the Porsche being the Porsche. Macho Camacho! What happened? What happened? Anthony Macho Camacho, not so macho right now, as he's going to be drifting momentarily, goes onto the curbs, lights up the rears, and the car pirouettes and doesn't go into the barrier. Macho Man, indeed. Staying safe for right now and keeping that 4th position. Tanner Masters still chasing down Eric Gakassian. Actually, a bit further back here, we see Afonso in that lovely Mazda chasing down the AMG here in the S section of Cronoda. Cronoda struggling in the S's here and having to lumber by his Afonso. And then gets on the throttle, and that immediately causes wheel spin. I tell you what, Dan, I'll tell him afterwards. I don't want to interrupt his race. These conditions are quite hard. I don't like pulling people out of the box. I only did that for me. Oh, Tanner! We'll see if maybe you won't be the dive bomber. Maybe Tanner will. Tanner looking like he's getting a bit frustrated behind Eric Gakassian. Keeping it on track, thusly though. All over his diffuser, gonna try to tuck down the inside, thinks better of it again. The track conditions only are getting worse, I think. Yep, for right now, they are just getting worse. It looks like in 30 minutes, it will dry up a little bit, I think, I don't know. Oh no, Provolone, what has hell? We see lapped cars, Eric Miller, we see a Camaro, and we see Provolone. What happened here? We see Provolone going down the inside of this lapped car. The Camaro, oh, just a slight tap from Fallon. Fallon in that 55 Camaro making just the slightest error in these conditions. Yeah, hate to see it. Delbuke here getting by, I think, is that Polgart? No, that's Sapien. Sapien not having a great race. Back to the battle at hand, though. Tanner Masters, Eric Gakassian, as they're now getting involved in some lap traffic. This is the best spot for them to run into lap traffic, but that Mazda doesn't look like it's going to be getting out of the way on this straight. Now he tucks to the outside, gives them the line, gives them the room. Oh, and there's contact between the Maserati and Eric Gakassian. Dan, you weren't needed. Eric's not going to be happy about that one. I know that. But he held on. Tanner did get the overtake done, unfortunately, for Eric. Dude. Dan, where are you on vacation? If you don't mind sharing. That's awesome. A beachside coffee shop. So what are you in, like, Alabama? No, wait, that's actually on the beach. Tennessee? That's very beachy. Bucked him there. Capitalizing on Mike Burkhoff's mistake. I think that was a long overdue move. But no, that does sound like a great itinerary. Delbuke here has the pace on Jose. Jose looking like he's struggling in these conditions. I'm not sure if that Honda has a bit of damage or if it's just not quite optimal in the wet conditions. Ooh, alrighty. I'm looking forward to it. Anthony Camacho now trying to take advantage of that mistake from Eric earlier, and Eric making another mistake, running a bit wide. That's going to compromise the exit. And we see Camacho trying to maximize the minimum speed through these slow speed corners. Not quite going to have the pace, though, to get it done just yet. Trying to carry that speed onto the marbles, though. This is going to be a little slippy out there. Losing 2 seconds to Eric Gakassian in a matter of, well, what seemed like 2 seconds. The marbles, not quite where you want to be for grip. And the battles have now come to a bit of a lull. We see Del Buque here, still trying to chase down Jose. Not sure. Oh, Sapien, not again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, wow, that's good avoiding action there from the Porsche of Polsky. Wait, was that Polsky? Yeah, Polsky. That's give me a yellow flag for no reason. Sapien running extremely wide. Oh, my. Not the racing line. I think that's what you call that. And Del Buque did actually get by Jose. Jose, oh, that bumper is not looking fully in the best condition. I think Jose has had a bit too much contact this race and is struggling for pace as a result. Camacho still has, after making that mistake on the marbles, is managing to catch up on time to Eric Gakassian. Oh, and he almost collects the rear end there of Eric Gakassian, but he opens his steering up to avoid that collision. That was very good situational awareness there from Camacho. Pulgar in there trying to take a little bit of advantage, but not quite. He's just going to bide his time and wait. Pulgarin looking fairly strong in these conditions. Mike Burkov now has caught back up to Bucknam. Bucknam currently P6 in class. This battle for P18 overall. We'll see if Mike Burkov has the pace. Not quite, though. He's a bit too far back once again. Might try to make a late lunge, but in these conditions, probably not the best thing to do, as we saw from Eric Gakassian and others earlier. Bulgarin with a Mercedes that the I'm assuming they haven't tested that exact model in a wind tunnel just yet. Its aerodynamics not quite up to factory standards, I would say. But he doesn't care. He's almost making that AMG look faster than Camacho's AMG, which is fully, I mean, in good condition. I don't know, that was a terrible analogy. See if this battle lets off anytime soon. Mike Burkov still right on the tail of Bucknam. We will come back to that if this one subsides, but the gap's looking very consistent for these two battles. Getting involved with lap traffic there. That's Provolone getting by Mike Burkov, and as well as the car of Bucknam. Provolone with a 4-second lead to Eric Miller, even after that little bit of an error with the lap traffic and the Camaro Fallon. But nonetheless, Provolone very comfortably leading with Eric Miller in P17, or in the 17 Lexus in P2, and then Gabe Carnes here very comfortably as well in P3. It's a nice, very nice drive here from the Country Club Racing car of Gabe Carnes. Padberg leading the way for the GT4 field. Story not too far behind him, actually. Has a very good opportunity, especially if Padberg makes any mistake. And Ali Raza, about 4 seconds off them, but trying to make his way through a little bit of traffic. And Snyder letting him by very nicely. And now Eric Miller, that is coming up behind Mike Burkov. Does go for it. Gets it a little deep, bit out of shape. He's going to have to try that one again, unfortunately. Gets onto the curbing. Eric Miller, not quite successful with that lap attempt. In fact, I want to... Where is he? Oh, no, never mind. Jose, what happened? He stopped. Why is he stopped? That looks like a, my wife needs me, maybe? Yeah. Uh-oh. You hate to see it. Yeah, he's in the pits now. And we did see there Eric Miller getting by the lapped car there of Mike Burkov. And now jumping on board with him, we'll watch him get by the car here of Bucknam as well. Very difficult to overtake in these conditions, even when you have the pace over the GT4 car. As you can hear that traction control just getting very uppity and involved in that Lexus. And sorry to switch off that, but Beachley is actually in a battle here. Chasing down Camacho. Drive-through penalty from Camacho. Track limits getting the best of him here. He's going to have to serve that within 3 laps. If not, he will be disqualified. That's going to put more or less the end to Anthony Macho Camacho's race, at least for any good scoring points. Beachley as well doesn't need to make any rash moves. Knows that he will be getting by no matter what relatively soon. So we'll see if he does go for the overtake or not. I personally might just stick behind. Play the waiting game a little bit. And I think he is going to do just that. We'll see here. Oh, actually, well, he's going to get a very good opportunity to get by. So, never mind. Camacho making a mistake, and Beachley capitalizing on it. Camacho still needs to make that drive-through. See here. Follow along with Camacho if he does make that this lap or not. I would imagine he would. I hear cars in the gravel. Pulgar, no! Alrighty, what happened here? We see Fallon, that is. Oh. We have cars. Wow! Oh my god. I don't think you could have fit a piece of paper between those two. And that bonnet, even less attached, it looks like now. Macho did serve his drive through this lap, it looks like, in the pits, coming out now. See here where Camacho does come out, looking like he's going to come out in 9th. Not too far behind of Del Buick, though. So, overall, not the worst position loss. Puts him more or less, I mean, in 3rd to last in the GT3 field. That was a really brown pants moment. Yeah, Code Brown. Pulgarin almost committed murder, but didn't. And that's all that matters. Reggie King here. Trying to make a move on Pulaski. Yeah, Pulaski. Okay. He does get that move done with ease, it looked like. Pulaski struggling for pace a little bit. These conditions seem to be getting the best of everyone. And they don't seem to be improving. Gabe Carness, what happened here? Yellow flag for Gabe Carness. Looking like he did rejoin the track safely. But this looks like a big old self-inflicted error. We gonna see a pirouette? Yes, we are. What a save! Holy cow! Hang on. Did I go back too far? Or did I miss it? I think I missed it. Nope. What a save. I mean, it could have been much better, but it could have been much worse. I think here, I'm going to jump on with the 72 car here of Tanner Masters, about to get into some lap traffic, it looks like. See how he manages to negotiate through that. There's quite a bit of work to do up the field here. 3 cars. Drive-through penalty from Tanner Masters as we watch it happen. 30 minutes left to go in this race, and I would imagine this is not the last drive-through we're going to see. Mistakes so easy to make on this track here. See Reggie King, if he can get by that 999 Mazda. Currently, Afonso down in P24. Not the greatest race from him, unfortunately. But nonetheless, repping that Maserati like a boss. And actually, Reggie King in the S's, this is not where you want to be, stuck behind a GT4 car in these conditions. Very difficult to, well, nigh impossible to overtake in these conditions. Reggie King doing his best, though. And he's going to get it, wow, very out of shape, but manages to catch the car. That was really close. Bonzo getting out of the way very nicely. And then actually the Porsche of Pulaski didn't get by it. Looks like, no, they don't. So Pulaski getting held up just a bit, only losing a couple tenths. That doesn't mean too much in these conditions. If not, it doesn't really mean anything. You know, Pulaski, does he have the pace to keep up with King? He's stuck with him thus far, but looks like he's falling off right now. Maybe tires might be falling through a window, these wets. And we see Tanner Masters making his pit stop. See where he comes out. I don't know how these wets are going to do on this track when it comes to tire wear in these conditions. I have never driven at COTA in the wet. So, I don't know. Other than that, though, pretty dry on track when it comes to action. Not when it comes to weather, nor does it look like it's going to be lightening up. Pulaski doing what he can and doing a good job of it, keeping up with Reggie King, actually. This is for the glory spot of last place. This is a battle for, at least in the GT3 field, battle for 11th overall. There are 27 drivers in this field, so many GT4 cars over the GT3 cars this week. And in fact, speaking of cars this week, let's look at the standings. Voila. So, we see Andreas Mastachero leading the split one. So the split one, that will be the silver plate drivers. Yes. Yes, I'm not crazy. Wait, am I? No, I'm not crazy. Okay. Yes, Andreas Mastachero leading it. And we have Matt right behind him. And Will behind him. Will, unfortunately, down here in P26, so not going to be scoring too many points. Padberg right behind him, though, in the standings, is going to be scoring a lot of points. Currently, preliminary for that pole position. Just has to keep it on track for another, well, 30 minutes, which is easier said than done. Looking at the split 2 here, we see Provolone, who's currently leading the field and leading the standings as well for the season. Eric Miller is going to be in 4th place overall, 2nd place in this race. Reggie King, though, 3rd place in the standings, battling with Moffitt. I think Moffitt, though, I don't think I see him on the grid this week, unfortunately. So this will be a good opportunity for Reggie King to come back. But unfortunately, he's battling for the position of last place right now. We'll see if he can manage to do anything with that. 26 minutes to go. Plenty of time. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. Speaking of, we have Afonso now chasing down Chronotis. This will be for P23. And then Ricky Rocket Scott with a yellow flag. What happened here? Trying to go for a move on Beachley. Or I think Beachley was lapping him, excuse me. And he just goes a little deep. Easy mistake to make. Not too punishing. Bonzo here through the S's, sticking with Chronotis. No, going into the S's now. Nice line there from Afonso. I think he will have the pace on Chronotis. It's a matter of when, not if, at this point. Chronotis obviously is going to try to say something about that. So far, though, he's doing a great job. Holding that P23 down. And, oh, up ahead, Bucknam. Battling here with Mastachero. Not sure what happened. They got really close really quick. Beachley maybe getting involved. Bit of an incident, not sure. Beachley, though, lapping both of them right now. And that's a big slide from the 690 car at Bucknam. But he saved it, I think. I don't know. Maybe my eyes were mistaking me there. Maybe he didn't slide, but I think he did. Yeah, that spray not lightening up whatsoever. Down the inside, that's really late. And he's gonna go really deep. And he's gonna go pirouetting too. Into the barrier. Bucknam, no. I need to go back and see that one. Didn't go back far enough, but at least saw the result. Jeeps in that car park. And it's very random. I don't know why. I never saw that car park there, but there's a lot of Jeeps for some reason. That makes me want to go investigate it somewhat. Not gonna. Snyder with a drive-through penalty as well. See down there for P27. And Story. Yellow flag. He is all over the track. Looks like he managed to recover. And then Del Buque as well. Del Buque is facing the wrong way. In a very high-speed part of the track. Can I go back far enough to catch it? Oh, big, violent tank slapper right into the barrier. And he tries to save it like 5 more times. And just doesn't. That was a very unfortunate crash. Del Buque now behind Camacho. Gonna try to make up a bit of ground. Has a bit of work to do after that mistake. Pulgar, and now 12.5 seconds. Eric Akasian slipping and sliding. What happened here? I see a back marker. Were they involved? A little bit of a step out from Eric right there in that first bit, and his car is now turning, and it's not going to stop turning. It did stop turning. It turned the other way. All right, fair enough. Eric Costian keeping that 4th position for right now. So quite the good drive from Eric so far, actually. Del Buick here. Reggie King chasing down Del Buick chasing down Camacho. Reggie King does look like he has the pace over Del Buick, so that's going to force him to look in his rearview mirrors now. Well, and he also needs to keep looking ahead because that's a big old mistake from Camacho. So that's going to give a good opportunity to Del Buick as well. Camacho, though, looking like he has some pretty solid pace. Holding that P8 down. Hasn't had too many big errors, I don't think. Had a couple early on, but looks like he's made up for it since. Conditions getting less. They're getting more dry. Less rain, more dry. Obviously. It's only sprinkling on track right now in about 10 minutes. So this should have a dry finish to this race. So we might see drivers starting to absolutely cook their tires. That's might be why we're seeing so many mistakes right now. As the rain on track, you can see right here from this picture, there really isn't much. It's just mainly spray from the track for these windshield wipers. Nice move there from Tanner Masters down the inside. Lovely, keeps it on track. And unlike the car behind them of Nause Schlieder, doesn't quite keep it on track, but that's okay. Reggie King here, getting by Camacho. Gonna have the inside line for this next corner, but I think he's gonna get it done before the corner even starts. '33 car of King getting by Camacho, though, looking like he wants to have another thought into that. We see that, oh wow, Del Buick running very wide there. It's going to compromise his line. But Reggie King kind of having to look in his rearview mirrors, can't really look too far forward right now. Unfortunately, that needs to change at some point if he wants to make any progress. 20 minutes left in this race. Conditions getting only better. Maybe not better for the drivers, as I said, that all these drivers are on wet tires. And we see Polgarin coming into the pits, speaking of, and almost going into the barrier. Did he mean to go into the pits? Or was that an accident? No, he did. Okay. No, that's a good pit entry. So, Polgarin, maybe going over to Dryas. We'll see if that pays off for him. He'll have 20 minutes. Oh, and a big... What the heck? Oh! What happened? Ah, Camacho just too late on the brakes and then too early on the throttle. I wasn't sure if that other car there assisted him on that second spin, but doesn't look like it. It looks like that was all Camacho, unfortunately. These three sticking in it with each other. I think that's actually a GT4 car. Bucknam, though. P19. They're going to be getting by. Oh, a little bit of a moment there from Del Buick. Nothing too big. Wow. Good camera angle, actually. Yeah, it's COTA, one of the newer tracks in ACC. They definitely didn't put a lot of work into their spectating on this one. Just be honest. "17 minutes left to go, and those windshield wipers aren't on." Well, a little bit. These cars, though, more or less in full dry conditions now. The track only drying up, and these guys are all on wet tires. Tires are going to be overheating massively. Tanner Masters here not getting the greatest exit out of the final corner. That might give the opportunity to Beachley. We see more cars coming into the pits. Mike Burkov, Will Brunner. Yellow flag from Reggie King. What happened here? Looks like this might have been just an all-on-your lonesome error. Del Buick in the pits. Del Buick in the pits, really? I don't know if that's... I mean, I already made the wrong tire call earlier. So, who am I to say? But I think it is a little too late to go for wet, or to go for full dries at this point. Because the track is still damp. That's the other thing. But these wets are going to be overheating massively. So, cars to keep an eye on here. Mike Burkov, Mostachero, Andreas Mostachero, Will Brunner. Got Bucknam. Reggie King as well. Del Buick. A lot of drivers actually coming into the box. And Provolone with a yellow flag, but not a big one. Beachley still chasing down Tanner. Not quite making up the ground he wants to just yet. We probably will see here drivers tucking out in the wet line to keep their tires cool, I would imagine, here soon. We see more drivers in the pits. Mike Burkov now, I would imagine, on full dries. I don't know why else they would have come into the pits. It'll be very interesting to see Mike Burkov in the GT4 car, Provolone in the GT3. Provolone's on full wets and old wets. And Mike Burkov is probably on dries. It'll be interesting to see which car has more pace, the GT3 or the GT4. Obviously, the GT3 should have more pace. But I don't think it's going to be that cut and dry. Stick with Provolone right now as he navigates this lap traffic. His tires, though, going to be overheating. He's still in a wet map, too. Or actually, I don't know. I can't believe the spectator thing. And he's still got that straight line speed, though, the GT3 car. And tucking onto the marbles and on that wet line, though, to try to get some cooling into the tires. Oh no, did Jose disconnect? That sucks. Jose didn't have the greatest race, I will admit, though. But that's not how you ever want to end a race. Polgar in there, I think we just saw getting by. His power cable from his wheel. It's always something with him. It's always something with him, isn't it? We see Tanner Masters and Eric Gakassian coming out of the pits now. Everyone else switching on to dries. But on the track into lap traffic, unfortunately there. Will Brunner right in front of them. I think Will Brunner has made a pit onto dries. Mike Burkov here. Yellow flag. Going slowly. Going very slowly. Maybe a puncture. Oh, no! That's going to be a speeding in the pits if that... Yeah, I think that... was that Provolone? No, excuse me. That was Padberg. I want to go back here for like 25 seconds. Can I catch that? As we see him, he was already going to make that pit, but has to take evasive maneuvers. Maybe got it stopped in time. He might have got that stopped in time. Coming out of the pits now. He does have a drive-through. Padberg, unfortunately, gets caught out. Mike Burkov going slowly into the pits. No, wait, Padberg making up a drive-through. Never mind. Huh? I'm crazy. I'm a nut. I'm crazy in the coconut. Don't listen to me. Tanner Masters now and Eric Gagosian. These two battling it out. 12 minutes to go. Eric seeming like he has the superior pace in this transition to dry conditions, but Tanner, I think, is wanting to prove otherwise because he has been with him as soon as they came out of the box and is sticking with him handedly. That Aston chasing down the BMW. Trying to take the alternate line, go for the better exit here. But, or maybe just running wide. I might have been giving him a benefit of the doubt there. Polsky, though, or Pulaski, overtaking Ollie Raza. Ollie Raza going very slow. Oh, man. That's all right. At least you'll have it tomorrow. That sucks, though. But congratulations, though, on getting a wheel. That's awesome. You're gonna have to send a picture of your setup when you get it all set up and ready. The Discord. Love to see it. There, that was a nice move from Camacho. Dude, I'm looking forward to the pictures. Make sure you tag me in them because I want to see them. I'm excited. Gabe Karna's in the pit. Justin Beachley, I think, is still on wet tires. Last lap lapping 226. Definitely still on wet tires. So we'll see if that's the right decision from Gabe. I don't think Gabe's going to come out ahead, though, of Justin with 10 minutes left in this race. I mean, I've been off of my tire strategy literally all night. I just clearly don't know how tires work on this track. But towards the end here, Eric Miller has got provolone in his sights the last 10 minutes. We got a bit of a sprint race here for P1. I think these two guys... Have they pit? No, they definitely have not pit. They're still on wets. They are a minute and 22 seconds ahead of Gabe Karnas. Beachley did come into the pits. Really? I just don't know. Oh, Tanner Masters making a move. Wait, was he? No, that was a lap car. Stick with Eric Miller for right now. Eric Miller currently lapping about 2 seconds faster than Provolone. Dude, that's the setup. You've got a GT4 wheel? That's awesome. I'm debating on when I get my direct drive if I want to get a racing style wheel like that or if I want to get a circle wheel. Because I do like driving on other games. And I know, oh, just buy both. I mean, like, yeah, you're probably right. Must have been a big error from Story. What happened here? Go back. Oh, Story's in a GT4 car. That's what happened here. Story, I would imagine, yet to box. And still ahead of the... I think staying out was the right call. I think Justin Story is going to have a really... Or, excuse me, Jeremy Story is going to have a really good result. Yeah, exactly. You can't really do drifting with a Formula wheel or a GT4 wheel. It's just, you might break your wrist. So I don't know, I love driving on Assetto Corsa, like the original one, just to relax. And I like driving a lot of circle wheels in that game. Mainly because I drive old cars. And old cars, you know, They don't got no fancy schmancy steering wheels. Battle for first continuing on. And that gap actually getting further away. Oh, because he... Yeah, okay, no, fair enough. Both them lapping at 217s. So definitely, yeah, they're definitely still on wet tires. We were seeing 209s from Provolone and Eric in the practice and qualifying session. Yeah, it does. I agree. The RCF does look fun. Yeah. Provolone going really defensive. Eric tucking into the slipstream. Provolone must not feel confident with his pace right now. Having go that defensive on a... I mean, he had a good gap. So Eric Miller must be smelling a little bit of blood in the water. We'll see. So 6 minutes to go. It's going to be 3 laps here at COTA, roughly. And probably more 2 laps at this point. Oh, that's awesome. That's such a strange thing to like or to enjoy noting from Lexus, but you know what? I respect it. Like, oh yeah, I worked at Lexus. What was your favorite thing? Ah, the seats. They had really good seats. Oh, okay. Do you need a ticket to the mental hospital as well? No? Okay, we're good. Bucked him. Making a move on Chronotis here in a sector that he probably doesn't want to make a move on Chronotis, but gets her done. And Chronotis must still be on wets there. Actually, that's Camacho behind it. Almost making a little bit of contact. Not quite, though. Chronotis losing ground massively here. All right, fair enough. No comment. A lot of drivers trying their best to chase down the drivers ahead of them. I think Eric Miller, though, has both Eric Miller and Provolone, I would imagine, are struggling massively from tire deg. We have Gabe Carnes here lapping currently 4 seconds a lap faster, well, 5 seconds a lap faster than Eric Miller. And that won't be enough to catch him. Eric Miller has a solid minute-and-a-half lead over them. Or Provolone, excuse me, has a solid minute-and-a-half lead. Eric Miller trailing behind him. But Eric looks like his tires have fallen off at this point, and he is going to take that second place, I would imagine, but anything can happen. Afonso there losing ground to Andreas. Macho going to be lapping them as well. Camacho? Where is Camacho? Well, I mean, obviously, I know he's right there. He's in P11? Oh, man. Not the greatest result from Anthony Macho Camacho, who had a pretty decent start, but is chilling down in last place in class, P11. We have Jeremy Story here leading the way of the GT4 field. Currently in that P12 slot. P1 overall, or in class. Ollie Raza there. Getting lapped by Gabe Carnes. We see the 3rd place. So 2nd place for GT4, getting lapped by 3rd place. And then we have Padberg here, Jacob Padberg, in P3. Who was leading the race for a while, but must have had a bit of an error with strategy or a bit of an error in general. And Eric Gakassian chasing down Tanner. I feel like I've said this a few times already. These two seemingly finding each other often. Gabe Carnes. Oh my, what happened here? He does have a good gap over Tanner. Wait, that means that Tanner and Eric might be fighting for a podium position here. Oh, just a big moment of oversteer. I hate to see it. But Tanner, 22 seconds behind Gabe after that mistake. Leader now on the final lap. Provolone leading the way. Tanner Masters here, trying to seal that P4 up. Eric Gakassian falling off a little bit. We'll see. He is closing. He will have 2 more laps to do this. This is the final lap for the leader. Eric, though, has to cross the line one more time and then another. Oh no! Alfonso! What happened? The Mazda, so close. Ooh. Makes contact there. Was that Ricky Rocket Scott? That was. Ricky Rocket Scott making a little bit of contact there with Alfonso. Hate to see that. Eric Gakassian still chasing. I'd imagine this battle will not subside for the rest of this race. Probably going to go down to the final corner if I had to guess. Del Buick here? I think Del Buick made an error there and Reggie King got by him. But Eric Gakassian's closing, and now with lap traffic, I think that might have helped Eric a little bit there. Not quite, actually. I think that Eric got the short end of that one just a little bit, but still, 1 full lap to go. 1 full racing lap here at COTA. Jumping on a little bit further back, we see Provolone here, who doesn't have 1 more racing lap of COTA. Their racing laps are now done. And coming across the line, we see Provolone securing that P1 position. Great race from him. Eric Miller in P2, and then Gabe Carnes is a mile behind, and we'll be there in a little bit. See other drivers. Let's see, where's Story? Story is about halfway through for the class. Yeah, cars absolutely everywhere when it comes to where they are. Eric Gakassian fell off of Tanner Masters a bit. Must have made an error in that first sector. Jeremy Story. Okay, so we're... Alright, might as well stick along here with Eric Gakassian. Are we gonna... Where are the... Man. Jeremy Story still leading the way in class. I don't think there's any way he is going to mess this one up at this point. And now, going to be going to the final sector now. We will see, actually, I think behind them, Alfonso. Uh-oh. He's not facing the right way. All right, he is now. We'll stick on board here with Jeremy Story as he gets lapped once again here by Tanner Masters for the final time here at COTA. Gonna be rounding the final corner. Jeremy Story, very nice drive indeed. Comes home in first position. Ollie Raza behind him for that second position. And then Padberg a bit further back in that 888 Porsche for P3. P12 overall. Actually, P13 overall. I think someone else is left by then. But nonetheless, that was a very good race. Very clean. Not too much bumping and bruising. Let's see here. I'm going to grab some people. We're going to grab GT3 boys and gals first. So, time to rudely grab people. Maybe. I'm going to grab Eric. Ah, Gabe. There you are. Gabe.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself? You were pretty far behind, but you got third.
Yeah, I was amazed at how much pace those guys had in the wet. I was hoping to bring it to them a little bit better on dry tires there at the end, but oh man, they were way out there.
I think they stayed on wet tires, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the front two stayed on wets. And then yeah, I was just hoping to catch them, but yeah, they had too much pace. So.
And we have Padberg here with us now, and Ollie. Awesome. Ollie Raza being second place for GT4. We'll stick with the GT3s for right now. What happened, Padberg? You guys were fast.
So
wait.
what happened?
I lied. Wait, Padberg, I don't care about you right now. You're in GT4. Sorry. I'll care about you in a minute. My bad. Eric Miller. I wanted Provolone is who I care about right now. He's not here.
Let me drag him here. Wait.
Eric, you guys stayed on dry or wets at the end there, huh?
Yeah, it was. I basically decided I was gonna do whatever Provolone did, and it almost worked. It was pretty much just got within a few tenths of them, and then just couldn't keep up on the exit speed.
It seemed like that was the right strategy, though.
It's hard to say. We were losing probably 8 to 9 seconds a lap.
Yeah, I guess that is fair by the end, but with 20 minutes of dry, I don't know. Provolone, how about you? Now that you're in here, the winner.
That was a tough race. That was just pretty much just trying to stay ahead of Miller the whole time. Going back to dry at the end kind of sucked. I didn't really think there would be enough time to catch back up to him if I put on the slicks and then he stayed out. So yeah, tires got up to like 38 psi at the end. They were all red. They were sliding everywhere, but made it to the end. Yeah, it was a fun race.
You did have a little bit of a moment. I think both you and Eric, mainly you though, had a bit of a moment with Camaro.
Yeah, a little bit, but it kind of all worked out in the end, so it's all good.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a just easy incident to happen. Yeah, you recovered very well from it. Luckily, Eric got caught up in it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm lucky he got caught up in
A few
it.
laps later.
And then he spun the next lap. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, awesome. And Gabe, our third place, do you have any other closing words for us for the GT3s?
No, I think like they said, the tires came into play. The only reason I switched to dries is because the guys behind me switched to dries. So I think it was kind of
What lap did you
everyone running backwards. I think it was like 18 minutes to left. Yeah, like 18 minutes left, I think, about is when I switched. And you guys just had so much more pace on me in the wet that I think there was just such a large gap. So
Yeah, I'm curious if I'd switched to dries, if I would have been able to get past Provolone in that amount of time.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting to see. But now I can care about the GT4s. Padberg, I care about you now.
Thank you.
But I'll care about you a little bit slightly less. Where's Story? Is Story not in here?
I don't think so.
That's okay. All right, well, then I'll care about you then. How was your race, Padberg?
It was good up until I was, I think, maybe a pixel off of the line and got a drive-through.
Yeah, I think we actually were watching you when that happened.
Oh, great.
And you weren't the only driver to get a drive-through, though.
I was none the happy. So.
I don't blame you. Ollie, how about you?
Oh, it was an interesting race because it started raining in between, and so we pitted for rain, but then it stopped raining, and then my tires went up to 40 psi. So it was just a judgment call. I mean, like we're only like 15 minutes of dry that would help.
So
But I
you
just-
finished on wet tires then?
Yes.
Okay.
I was at 41 psi.
Holy cow. Padberg, did
Yeah.
you finish on wet tires?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were
Yep.
really hot.
Man.
I believe Story was as well. All, us three were all wet.
Yeah, you guys must have been slipping and sliding everywhere.
Yes. Oh man. But yeah, it was an interesting race. I think I got P2 in the end. I was almost catching up to him. I think it was 5 seconds ahead of me in the end. But yeah.
Yeah, no, overall, I'd say it was a great race. Anyone have anything else to add?
Thanks again for streaming.
Yeah, no problem. Sweet.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. Well, good
Yeah,
race,
thank you, everyone.
guys. I'm going to move out of here and close the stream up and send it over to someone. So, good race, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Alrighty. Now it's just me and you guys. How's it going? Hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Hope everyone had nice interviews here. We're going to send a raid out. Let's see here. Who are we going to raid? I should have probably done this. Oh, I know. I don't even need to look. I don't even need to look. Going over to Clutch. Oh my, sorry. I apologize for that. You boys are going over to Clutch. So, from one mic to another. Go and say hi to Mike. Mike Clutch, awesome guy. And I hope everyone has a great night. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.
Oh snap, what was that? Trackalicious with the raid, let's